For more on the challenges facing aid agencies in providing help and relief in flood-hit Bangladesh, let's speak now with Sonakshi Dey. She's a program director of Bangladesh country delegation with the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies. She is joining us this morning from Cox's Bazar. Thank you so much for joining us. We've heard the numbers there, more than 1 million stranded, more than 50 lives lost. But beyond the headlines, could you tell us what this crisis actually looked like on the ground?
Sure. Thank you for having me. In Bangladesh, the conditions right now are very concerning. We have more than 1 million people all over the country affected due to the heavy monsoons, the floods, the landslides, out of which right now I'm in Cox's Bazar. Cox's Bazar has 182,000 people and more affected by this. And within this, the 182,000 people, we have people also in the camps, which are people displaced from Myanmar, as well as the host communities. The real situation on the ground is that there are many roads which are damaged, the shelters which have been also damaged partially, or some have been fully damaged. We have the roads which are leading to the highways that has been cut off also. There are many water sanitation facilities that have been damaged, like more than 10,700 water and sanitation facilities have been damaged. So this situation is quite grave. And the main problem is the access to reach the people, because as you can imagine, the geographical topography of the country is also very difficult. As you see in the pictures right now, we have flooding and water which are up to the knees of people. There are a lot of deaths, more than 54 recorded, but I'm sure there are many more which will be coming on. The access to safe drinking water, the food, these are also absolutely important humanitarian needs. Also, I would say that based on the effect of this situation, we also have health emergencies like dengue, because with so much water retention, dengue is an impact of that. Also cholera. So these are multiple health hazards which are also affecting Bangladesh currently.
I hear you, Sonakshi. It sounds like a really challenging situation. But here's what we know as well. Bangladesh is no stranger to annual monsoon rains and flooding and landslides as well. But what seems to have happened this year is that convergence, the landslides happening very closely or very close to the flooding as well at the same time. So I'm trying to understand how much more difficult has it made it, for you and for your teams? What are they saying in terms of what the priorities are?
Right. For us, definitely, as you mentioned very correctly, Anol, that there are multiple disasters happening at the same time this time. But Bangladesh is also not new to it. We have all kinds of disasters which are more climate driven. So there are cyclones, there are floods, landslides, heat waves, cold waves. So we are used to facing many disasters, but right now we already had a situation of measles in the country back in March, April, May. So we were already struggling with that and trying to support the government to deal with it. But now we have another disaster, which is also at the same time, and dengue outbreak is also going to happen because of so much flooding that is happening. So with IFRC, Bangladesh Red Crescent Society, who are on the ground, they are the auxiliary to the Bangladesh government. They are present in all the districts in Bangladesh, which makes it, a locally led response for IFRC. And they are able to deploy all their volunteers who are trained in search and rescue, first aid, distribution of relief items, evacuating people safely, moving them to a different higher shelter. So all these supports are being provided by Bangladesh Red Crescent Society with the help of IFRC. And the most important needs that we see on the ground are food, definitely, access to drinking water, which is safe, the shelter damages that have happened. So we are also trying to provide shelter materials to repair those shelters, as well as moving them to safe shelters. The government is also working very hard in terms of distribution of dry food items and rice. And Bangladesh Red Crescent Society has also been providing the dry food to the affected families from landslides or from floods. And as I was mentioning, that you can see our volunteers who have been actually on the ground from day one. As I mentioned also that we are present in all the different districts, and we believe in the locally led response, and we strengthen also our local capacities. So we train the volunteers so that they are able to be deployed immediately. So we don't need to wait for anything. Also, IFRC has, is trying to get the DREF, which is emergency funds for us, for Bangladesh, so that we can provide the support where it is needed most importantly right now. Okay. So we are working parallelly on that. Plus, we have some funds in the country, which are rapid response funds. So we are also supporting through that.
Okay, before we let you go, Sonakshi, we understand you're in Cox's Bazar, which house the Rohingya refugee camps you earlier briefly mentioned, but we know that it's already among one of the world's most vulnerable communities. Could you just tell us what kind of conditions the people are facing right now and what is the most urgently needed?
Thank you. Yes, it is already a very dense population in the Rohingya camps. As you know, we have almost 1 million people living there. And in one house, we have more than 5 to 8 people staying together. And also we have more influx of people coming in from Myanmar. So that already creates pressure on the current shelters that were there. There are a lot of temporary shelters which have got damaged in the camps. So our volunteers are engaged in moving those people to safer shelters, providing them with shelter tools for repairing those shelters, having early warning messages being given to them, also having some anticipatory action and preparedness activities done so that if there are also more events like this, then that can be protected. The water and the food is, again, the most important, as there are not so many livelihood activities possible in the camps, then it is quite aid dependent. So that is what we are trying to support with, mainly water, food.
Sonakshi, I apologize for interrupting, but we're running out of time. So I very quickly want to ask you about a risk that has been flagged, and that's the possibility of a cholera outbreak. So help us understand very quickly what needs to be done to quickly hit this off?
Yeah, so what our teams are doing is that we are also doing disease surveillance. So we are trying to monitor the different households to see also how they are doing in terms of health, because if we can identify it very quickly, then we can also treat them. So emergency health, disease surveillance, referrals, providing them with medicines if needed. So that is something that is being done, and also monitoring by the government. And as I said, we are auxiliary to the government. We are working very closely together with them and with other organizations like WHO, UNICEF, the EPI. So we are all coordinating to see and intervene as early as possible so that we can avoid an outbreak.
Okay, I understand. Thank you so much, and I apologize again for interrupting you. Sonakshi Dey is Program Coordinator, Bangladesh Country Delegation with the IFRC. We thank you so much for your thoughts and time.